So now I'd like to introduce the last panel, highlighting regional success stories. And I'd like to invite the moderator, Monika Rizowska, to please join us on stage, and the speakers as well. Thank you.
It's quite an honor to end the last panel with such incredible and remarkable speakers. So instead of introducing each of them firstly with their bio, our idea was to share their success stories, as our panel is actually, that's the name of the panel is called like that. We can start with Nino. Nino, your story is quite amazing. It's very different from the other key speakers. So my first question for you would be, can you describe Bramall in one sentence, if you can?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me today.
The slide.
Oh, we have sound. So we created the world's first elegant-looking blazer for motorcycles. That's shortly in one sentence what Bramall is. The whole idea for the startup actually came from my personal need. I'm an entrepreneur running an IT company for the past 10, almost 11 years. But I'm also a motorcyclist, so those two worlds are mixed up for me. So I had, I would say, a challenge, an everyday challenge of choosing the right, outfit for my workday, because my day mainly revolves around a lot of business meetings that you have to go after a certain, I would say, business outfit, and look in a certain way. And on the other hand, I'm like 8 out of 12 months on my motorcycle, and not riding protected is not an option, right? And riding in your full motorcycle equipment, you look like you just came out of a racetrack, right? So protectors all over you, and full leather jackets and stuff like that. So what I was juggling, with over past few years, I was like, wearing my motorcycle jacket, going to a meeting, then wrapping it up, putting it in the bags, and then dressing up in front of the building, which was a huge challenge for me and trouble. So I was looking for other alternative ways of how to solve this problem, so that I can hop on my motorcycle, but I do not have to lose time of changing my attire. But I discovered that the problem was much bigger than just myself. It's there's a whole world out there of business people and people who would like to dress up, still look elegant and ride their bikes, that they were facing the same issue and same problem. So when I realized that was the idea moment, I said okay, we have to solve this. Why not create the first elegant brand for elegant motorcycle apparel that will provide the protective need of the rider, so save you in case of an accident, but still look like a normal business attire. So that's what.
If I can ask you, the jacket, actually the coat which you are wearing now, is actually.
Oh yeah, this is the Bramall blazer. Actually looks like a normal jacket, normal blazer, but beneath I'm wearing a full tank with 5 protectors on me, including elbows, shoulders, and a lot of protective equipment.
It's nice to know that you feel protected here as well. Thank you for the short introduction, and we apologize for the technical disturbing. Now we have presentation from Konstantina. Konstantina Zafirovska is General Manager of IT Labs. And okay, we have the presentation now.
We've been around since 2005, hitting the ground running as a startup, and have since gone global with offices and teams all around the world. We specialize in putting together teams that help turn our clients' ideas into software solutions that help their businesses grow. Our success is down to our strong company culture, which is a set of 5 core values, which are the foundation for everything we do, from selecting talent and ensuring employee satisfaction, all the way to how we do business. Diversity and equal opportunities is a big thing for us here at IT Labs, which is why 52% of our employees are women. But this diversity is not just about showing off. It helps us provide high quality services for our clients, from consulting and strategizing all the way to providing end-to-end software solutions. You need support? We do that. Need a team to develop a solution? We've got you covered. And we've got the numbers to show our efficiency, and we've got happy customers to spread the good word. This is our way, the IT Labs way, providing quality services through high-performing diverse teams focused on ensuring satisfaction to you, the client. In the beginning, we didn't say that we were an IT or a software company because the truth is we're a people company first and foremost. We just happen to be in the software industry, making things happen for our clients and employees.
Thank you, Nina, for the lovely presentation. I'm really happy that we have the presentations since they give some kind of perspective so you could see and what's the successful story behind our speakers. And now we have Stefan. Stefan Ivanovic is CEO at E+. Now we'll proceed with your presentation.
Okay, my presentation is without sound, which is good and it's fast. I want to tell a story about our region. I am from marketing industry. I am working in marketing strategy and marketing communications. And for many years, I have been working for DDB Worldwide, which is one of the biggest global marketing and advertising agencies in the world. And I had the opportunity to work not only in my country from where I am in Serbia. I was working in Macedonia, I was working in Bulgaria, and I was working in Romania. It enabled me not only to develop my career goals, but also to understand these markets, to meet people, to make friends, you know, to see how this region really works. And this is the region with 3 names. Some people call it Adriatic, some call it Southeast Europe or the Balkans, but whatever you call it, it is the very same region where are we from. And what makes me deeply unhappy about our region is sometimes I think about our region as the region of missed opportunities. There are so many things that I found out that we do not know each other and that we have some prejudice which stops us to make a better cooperation. Something like 10 years ago, I have read some research which was done in Serbia, Romania and Bulgaria. And the general attitude of the people was that the producers from 2 other countries produced very poor quality products. And everybody is thinking about the second 2 countries that they are doing very low quality products and they are not very good. And, you know, this is just a prejudice. I was living there, I was working there, you know, these all 3 countries export their products to very demanding markets and they are very good for United States and for Germany. So why people in our region think like that? So the biggest reason is ignorance and prejudice. So to make the long story short, we were doing some campaigns for one of our clients, which is Lesaffre, a French company, which is global leader in yeast production and in baking industry ingredients. And actually, we have done some great B2B strategies with them, which included many digital tools and many good things. And the company from Croatia recognized it and invited us to work for Lesaffre in Croatia as well. So we started to work with the Croatian Lesaffre, and after that we were very often in Zagreb. We have met other clients, so we have started to work with some other companies. We have done some great projects in Croatia. And what is my point? You know, if we have asked somebody in Serbia, is it good to work, to manage business in Croatia, they would say, no, it's very closed market, it's very difficult, it's very demanding. But the point is, do not listen to people who didn't try it or, you know, who failed. You should listen to them to see why is the reason. But if you want to make a success in the region, it's very important that you make the first step and you do the things. You know, you have to make the action if you want the success. So instead of being the region that, you know, devices, we should be a region that creates opportunities. And this was my main message, which I wanted to do for this introduction period.
Oh, thank you so much, Stefan. This was very insightful. With us, we have two more speakers online. I'm just checking if we have them with us already. Dragan, okay? Dragan Milevski?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm there.
Yuri. Okay,
Hello,
who wants
good
to
evening.
start first? Dragan, would you like to continue?
Yes, of course.
We have Dragan's presentation. Video, sorry. Dragan Milevski is co-founder and CTO at Klimedo Health. And now we'll see the short video of what actually the product is about.
And the experiences of the treating doctors, but also patients. This is the only way to monitor the safety and performance of pharmaceutical products and medical devices and gain new insights. For this reason, more and more companies are trying to obtain feedback directly from patients. Yet many of them struggle to connect with, engage, and get regular feedback from patients. In addition, more than half of all studies are still conducted on paper and Excel, making data capture difficult. Electronic Patient-Reported Outcomes, ePRO for short, enables patients to give direct feedback on their personal well-being. This feedback can be collected using digital questionnaires or diaries on any mobile device. Using ePRO results in 3 benefits. Time savings. With ePRO, the laborious and error-prone process of transferring paper to a database is eliminated. Patient compliance. Patients are encouraged to enter data on time and regularly thanks to automated reminders. Increased data quality. Thanks to mandatory fields, automatic validations and path-dependent questions, data quality is significantly improved. Want to learn more about ePRO? Thanks to Klimedo, 3 million ePRO questionnaires have already been successfully answered. Schedule a call with us today.
Thank you. And now we have Yuri with us. Yuri, would you like to share?
I hope that we have the video with Monica. If not, I'll run it from my own screen. Just let me share my screen here.
Yuri is a technology evangelist at Neuron Soundware.
And let's see how this works.
Great.
Studies say unplanned machine outages are causing losses of 5 to 20% of income due to lost productivity. With Neuron Soundware, you can stop those losses before they happen. Neuron Soundware reshapes machine diagnostics and predictive maintenance with a solution for protecting your critical machines by applying artificial intelligence to sound signal analysis to manage large numbers of robust machines or a variety of different machines. No need to hire more experienced technicians or spend more time on site trying to figure out what's broken. Your essential production infrastructure is safe with us. Our AI analyzes your machine's sound patterns, so potential failures can be detected early. You'll have immediate real-time access to information about a machine's status with a simple interface and easy-to-understand alerts. We provide a quick plug-and-play all-in-one solution. Edge computing industrial IoT device N-Box. Durable, easy-to-install sensors, and a user-friendly app to protect you against machine downtimes. Thanks to resistant sensors, Neuron Soundware works even with atypical machines, remote premises, dangerous or difficult operations such as explosive environments where little to no maintenance staff can be present. Our solution helps you detect mechanical issues earlier, so you can worry less about maintaining your machines. Have more fun after work and relax knowing your business is in good hands. You'll be surprised at the ease of implementation, cost savings, and anomaly detection it brings to your machinery. Visit us at neuronsw.com and join our community of top technical directors.
Thank you so much, Yuri.
Thank you.
With these presentations, I hope that you got a bit of insight of what are our success stories about today. So I would like to encourage you to use the QR code at your badges from Macedonia 2025 and to ask questions while we will continue with the first question. And the first question goes to Nino. Nino, what are the biggest obstacles you faced by now and you are facing, and in which you are involved?
Well,
in the company?
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, coming from running 10 years of an IT company, I thought I was like I would expect all the obstacles to be well predicted by my end. But to be honest, it's the first time for me, creating a physical product. So now the ball game is completely different, and many obstacles are appearing, from unknown nature for me. So and there are many obstacles creating the company and the product that we are working on, because first of all, it's the first kind of equipment that we were presenting on the market. So we had to solve a lot of, I would say, motivational obstacles, which require you more of like creative thinking, creative product solving to overcome them, like obstacles related to the product itself in terms of riding comfort. It's impossible, for example, to ride in a standard Blazer because your movements are fully limited, so you cannot even extend your arm, not even ride a motorcycle. It's completely blocking that kind of body position. So, but I would say the more tougher obstacles were the one that were related more to production and logistics, because as I said, this is a first physical product for me. So we faced a lot of obstacles connected to logistics, to the production. For example, finding the right factory that will, because the Blazers are produced here, and we kept the manufacturing here in Macedonia. So finding the right factory that will be able to create a Blazer that actually is a motorcycle jacket certified by the highest motorcycle standard out there. So trying to explain all the different perspectives in terms of the legislation, in terms of the certification process, all the specifications that the factory needs to hold up to. But also, there was a whole logistics nightmare because coming from here and producing the Blazers here, not being especially in the European Union, adds a lot of weight to the whole process. For example, we launched our product on Kickstarter 6 months ago. So as a Macedonian entity, we weren't, for example, allowed to participate on the platform and to launch the product there. So what we had to do is actually partner up with the US, our US partners, found a company there, so our company is officially in New Jersey, and then be able to launch on Kickstarter. Then again, as I said, obstacles connected to the logistics in terms of shipping the product and taxes that our buyers are facing. For example, it's not a problem for us to ship to the United States, to New Zealand, to Australia, because the laws there give a bit more space when it comes to import of goods like this and the price. While shipping it to EU countries, for example, to Germany or to France, we have complaints from buyers. Okay, I paid like $600 for your Blazer, but now I have to pay $200 more in taxes, which would not have happened if, for example, we were in the EU and we would be able to deliver the Blazers without any additional taxes. But yeah, I would say the toughest one came from logistics and manufacturing, but we were able to solve one obstacle at a time, and not until this moment. Still many obstacles to overcome, but trying hard.
Thanks, seems like so many obstacles, but in one way I'm really happy that you had the obstacle with the logistics, that you had to open company in New Jersey, and now you're here sharing your story about regional success. So obstacles can be a challenge and successfully accomplished success. So now with us we have Konstantina Zafirovska, one remarkable woman in tech with vast experience also in the IT industry. And I'm really happy to pass this question also to you.
Yeah, Monica, thank you for invitation. And I would like to little bit rephrase obstacle, because if we see it as an obstacle, usually creativity dies. If we see it as a challenge, then creativity is raised. So in our business is a little bit more different because it's services, it's IT services that we provide, and we are part of the ecosystem that can kind of evolve or accelerate the businesses of other clients, actually. So the challenge is, let's say, the last challenge that this industry had is actually still ongoing, the pandemic. And so one thing that I saw is the biggest challenge that we have among us is the mindset and the comfort zone. So if we want to grow, we have to get out of the comfort zone, of course. But if we have a mindset that we cannot do that because we know how the things should be done and this new situation makes us a little bit afraid, then that will for sure block us. So I would say that for our company, in more than 15 years, 16 years, obviously there were many challenges. And now the change of the market, change of the IT, how IT is done, let's say, in meaning that everything is remote and every company in the world can access talents based on their skills, no matter where the location is, obviously creates challenges. But one thing I know that when pandemic hit, when we were closed, especially last year in March, we actually in 24 hours we had to reinvent ourselves, and that is actually why that happened is that we have a team, the management team that can adapt, that can be more flexible, that is flexible, that is creative. So we changed many things because, first of all, how you will know who does what and if the people are working from home or not. Now we saw that productivity is bigger. We saw that we don't need a physical meeting with a client to close a deal. So we reinvented ourselves, and I believe that every company that faces challenges, but it's open to kind of go a step further and face the fears of the comfort zone, for sure will be successful.
Nina, Stefan?
Well, our industry is very specific. You know, there are so many aspects, but I will focus on some challenges in the marketing communications, because we are in the business of creating a right message and delivering it in the right time to the right consumer. But the point is that in today's world, with so many information, the consumer, or our target audience, he doesn't want to receive any message. You know, no matter how good it is for him, no matter if you are a company trying to sell to him something, or you are saying, oh, the climate is in crisis, we have to do something, people do not want to receive information that they do not want. So it's up to us to create the messages, to craft them in a way that they will want to accept, to listen to you. Otherwise, they will not even listen to you. So the first step is that. Then, if you somehow manage to come to the consumer, to talk to him, there is a big crisis of trust and confidence. People do not believe to anything because there are so many fake news, so many fake experts, so many everything you can find on the internet. People are trying to be very, you know, scared when they see something. They don't want to listen too much. They do not trust. And, you know, this is the other problem that we are facing. And the third challenge is that it is not easy to impress people anymore, because people have seen today everything. No matter was it live or was it on YouTube, but they have seen everything. And if you want to stand out, you have to find a way somehow to impress them, to show the long-lasting impression. And this is the biggest challenge. So our biggest challenge is also our the biggest opportunity. This is all the time changing consumer. The things that you knew about him yesterday, probably it's not valid anymore today. So you have all the time to learn and to try to craft your messages and all your activities in order to reach the consumer.
Now we can continue with Dragan.
Yes, thank you. So for us, similar to Nino and his product, we also faced a lot of legal challenges, so to say, because when digitizing patient data in healthcare, one needs to follow a lot of different regulations, which are different almost in every country in the world. So for example, in Germany, even each of the federal states has difference in terms of how they prefer to get their data stored and managed digitally. And then you can imagine the differences between different countries in Europe and then the rest of the world. And for us, this challenge was also then an opportunity because when we started this company, we didn't know exactly what we want to do, but we went into purely doing interviews with doctors, with my partner, and we were asking them, what is the biggest challenge that we can solve with software for you? And with a lot of questions and answers and sessions and doing mock-ups, we ended up creating this digital platform for secure patient-doctor data exchange. And we got some consulting from different organizations here in Germany, some of them governmental, some of them private, where they guided us how can we do this one the best, and having it set like that was helping us to win our customers. Second thing I would like to mention is definitely keeping up with competition. So healthcare is a very hot space. So health tech startups and more established companies are all around the space, especially after COVID-19. And as a young player, we do have our niche product in a niche market, but the space is very active, and we must keep improving our product if we want to grow our customer base and keep our churn levels as low as possible.
Thank you, Dragan. Now we will continue, Yuri.
Good evening, and thank you for having us here. Thinking about the challenges I've heard here, we are a different kind of company. We're a B2B company. We work in a very deep technical area, and our message is for big industrial companies. What I would like to talk about is not challenges, but what can be done to overcome them. And our challenges were twofold: access to capital and maybe sharing the success of the company with the employees, which is a legal obstacle locally. I think that Macedonia can do a lot to fix that with legislation. And the second is access to the actual, to people. And that's not a policy, that's a thinking, that's a way of thinking, and that's a way how young people in our country think and work. We strive to be a global company. We look up to startups that do similar things in America and in Israel. In those two countries, or at least in Israel, the first option for a young person is to have a startup. The second option is to work in a successful startup. And the third option, if everything else fails, is to work for a multinational corporation, okay? In Czech Republic, this is completely opposite, because we are an IT country. We are good at that. We have a lot of good software people. Big companies come in and they pay our software talent in such a way, with such a money, that we can't afford them. And the thinking that is deep in our culture, I guess, is, well, I will work for money. I'm not working for future money. I will work for my money today, tomorrow, next month. So what I think your country can do is to instill in people, in young people, and you've been talking a lot about education earlier on, and about the future of your country, to instill in people what my esteemed colleague here is speaking about: entrepreneurship. Go out, be successful, work for your future, don't work for your salary. And if you allow me to leave it with this kind of call, I'd be happy.
Thank you, Riri. I'm really happy we tackled the obstacles, which became challenges, because I think we got so much insights from all the companies which are quite different and success stories with us today. Before going to the next question, I would like to encourage you again to ask questions and use this opportunity since we have these amazing, remarkable speakers. So let's use them at the end wisely. The second question is, what are the essential ingredients for an international competitive business? Would you please list the three most important ones for your business or the business that you're involved in?
So first, yeah, I believe the three ingredients for a successful company, regardless whether you're tackling a local market or international one, trying to build an international company, comes to first of all, product market fit. I think it's making sure that you have the right product market fit. Then making sure that you have the right core team to realize your ideas, because the strength of the team, speaks a lot about the company and the things that you can achieve. You can't do things on your own. You have to have the right core team behind you. And the third one is, sticking up to your vision in terms of, how much is the idea, how much is the product you're willing to, the company you're developing, how much is meaning to you, in terms of, there will be, as we all mentioned here, and, I do believe we are facing very different kinds of obstacles, coming from different industries, but, problems, challenges, obstacles, however you call them, they will appear, and some easier to solve, some harder. So there will be some difficult times that you have to, you have to encourage yourself to stay on the right track, to solve it, even if it seems unsolvable. So I think, these three things, in my opinion, are the most important ones, as, a key formula to be on the right track to solve the puzzle of creating a successful startup company.
So, in my opinion, one of the things that should happen is agility first, because the flexibility, agility of one business means that it can accommodate to different areas of work, different markets. Because, for example, in our experience, we understood and we know that it's totally different when you sell services in US. If you go in Europe, it's totally different. The manner how the essential deals are treated and fulfilled, and what are the expectations. So obviously, to understand where you are and to understand where you want to go, but also to take the environment, the circumstances of the markets, and accommodate according to those for greater success, of course, is one of the essential points. Next thing is to be resourceful. What that means is that to have a team that is resourceful from different points of view, because different challenges means that we have to act differently, we have to be creative, and also to kind of find ways how to achieve the goal. And that resourcefulness should come, first of all, from the leadership and down to every person in the company. And the last thing I believe is resilience, right? Because going to international markets, going to different markets than what you have worked until a certain period of time, means that you will have different challenges. You will face something different that you haven't experienced until that moment. So facing new markets, opening new international fields of work obviously means that you have to do very good market research, understand your competition, and be ready for new challenges that you have not faced. And resilience will, of course, give longer sustainability of the business and will ensure success. Sometimes companies think that if they start with one vision and mission and with one purpose, that cannot be changed at all. In all their life cycle. It's different. It's not like that because that can evolve, that can change, and the circumstances in which the business is conducted and is grown also has to adapt to change those things. And even though sometimes we think that it is about integrity to not change anything, in contrary, it's about the success to change everything.
Well, one thing is when you make mobile applications or something like that, then you can it's not easy, but let's say you can make an easy approach to global markets because you find consumers, but some specific roles that they're having. But if you are in offline business, if you are producing something, then you have some problems like logistic issues, you have some accounting problems that you have to solve, so many things. You have to be focused on some special markets. You cannot go just globally and sell everywhere. It's not everybody is Amazon to can do it. So you have to be focused on certain markets, which means you have to know very well the local market, the local consumer. It's not the same, although we are in the region very similar and we are close to each other, no market is the same. You have to understand very well what is the, what is the local, habits of the people. You have to understand the insights from the consumer in order to be able to be successful in this specific market. So this insight is one, and empathy for the local consumer is one of the most important ingredient that you have to have in order to be successful in markets. The second is definitely the team and the people, no matter how we call it, resources, but I think the people who are devoted, who are inspired, and who want to make success are extremely important for any kind of business, especially for these international expansions. And the third thing is definitely the ability to be agile. You have to be able to change things in a moment. You never know how things will happen, and you have to be able to react very quickly in order to be able to do whatever is necessary to achieve your goal, which is not an easy thing, but this is the reality, and we have to find ways how to do it.
Thank you, Stefan. Dragan?
Yes. So for us, it was and it has been and it will ever be finding, attracting and keeping the right talent. Like number one in our philosophy is that you need smart people who can do things better than yourself. So when I say yourself, I mean the founding team. So when you start growing, you need them because that's how nice and proper growth is happening. Next to that, once you have them, still speaking about the same point, you need to a way to maintain an environment and company culture where they will feel fulfilled and inspired by the work they do, and that's very difficult these days. I think Jiri mentioned in his speech that they fight and compete for talent with big companies is the same with us, and you need, because you can't compete with big companies with salaries, you need something from your story to inspire them and share common vision together with them. Then the second thing I would add is probably having the right partners and investors, meaning capital, on board. So you need people, especially if you're young founders or first-time founder like us, you need people with experience in the field where you are and people who have been there already and done similar things. Ideally from them you will learn a lot of how-tos and how not to's, so that you don't repeat those expensive mistakes over and over again. And that one will then lead to number 3, which is create a proper execution strategy to do as many right things at the right time as possible. And here I'm speaking about focus and ability to dismiss any distractions on your way towards the goal that you have set with your company.
Thank you so much, Dragan. Now we have Jiri. Jiri, you have the toughest part, to be the last one and not to repeat the other key ingredients.
Exactly, it's quite difficult. A lot of wise things have been said. Yes, you need great people, I mentioned that. I want to highlight you need money. You need venture capital to start a good company. You need access to them from company side. As a country, you need an environment where this money can come in, where it will be attracted. And it all comes back to me, sorry, I'm speaking again from the kind of top-end view, but if I'm looking at the people, people will stay in an environment where they can be happy, where they can live their lives easily, and where they will feel better than anywhere else. It may be home, it may be elsewhere. The country needs to be open to young ideas, to people who want to work and become rich. And that's not easy. The country has to keep them. Same for the company. Your companies can open up, they can start up in Germany, but you need to make them start in your own country, working with your own people. Again, it's environment, it's legislation. And the same is true for money, for international money, okay? For the money to roll into companies like yours and ours, the right environment needs to be there. So it all comes back to me, you know, again, to the top end, like legislation and politics. I'm sorry to be on that topic again, but yeah, that's my summary here.
It's a good summary, thank you, Rui. Because we always end with you, now I would like to start the last question. And the last question is, what type of changes in the business environment or more general changes can you substantially support your business? So looking on the future, what type of changes would substantially help or support your business?
Wow, that's a big one. We try to drive the change in some areas, but we work in industries where everything is conservative. And we work in industries also where we help companies, you know, listen to their machines, which is what people have been doing. And the people who work in these companies and have this unique skill, they understand the machines by their ears, are old, like me, and they're not getting any younger. And the big point for our customers is they can't replace them, and they are replacing them with our system, essentially. We automate this thing. Now, what would help us? I guess for these companies to realize that the way forward into the age where people will do the brilliant things and AI will, you know, replace them in many areas of life, accounting and all sorts of stuff, and maintenance, like for us. They need to open up as well. The conservative industries still stick to the conservative IT rules of the 20th century, like we want our own data, we will never share our data, cloud is not for industrial companies, cloud is for people. All this needs to change. So if anything were to change for us, it would be that this digitization would enter the minds of the industrial leaders, and they would look into the future rather than into the history of their companies for inspiration and for you know, ideas.
Thanks, Jiri. Now we can continue maybe other way. Stefan?
Okay.
What type of changes you'd like to see?
There are so many changes that we would like to see, but I would focus on the two major changes which I think could generate the best results. One is the education system, because you know, the universities teach us technical knowledges about areas where we want to specialize, but nobody teaches us how it looks like in real life, you know. Nobody teaches us how to make the thinking, how to understand the consumer, how to, you know, have a complex project management skills, you know, how to, there are so many, for instance, these agility methods like design thinking or Scrum or Kanban, whatever you choose, you know, there's so many things that nobody teaches us, and this is something which is crucial skill of the 21st century. You have to understand how the world now is working. It's not enough to have technical knowledge, you have to have this type of knowledge. This is the same thing like, you know, you become a parent and nobody teaches you what to do with your child. You have to find ways. But now I think education could give, you know, some proper, you know, push to these things to prepare its population to how to deal into international markets, because the world is changing and we have to be able to change everything we know about that. And the second thing, which I think is very important, is full digital transformation. It's not digitalization. Digitalization means that we had the paper invoice in the past, and now we scan it and we have electronic document. Full digital transformation is making really it's easy to use all these digital tools that we are offered. And only when we fully implement this, we can say that we have done a big thing in this sense. And I think these two things we should focus in our region in order to make some competitive advantage. The first one, education for the future, and the second one, for today, to be able to deliver whatever we want.
Thank you. Digital transformation was a major goal for health as well. So now I would like to invite Dragan to share.
Exactly. So as you can imagine, COVID-19 for us was and still is a huge boost because it showed to society that we need systems in place which can help us deal with similar challenges. And it was a big mess in the beginning. And it took so long because that's like also one of our verticals at the moment. We work together with the German government and we collect the COVID-19 symptoms from the patients who are in quarantine over here. And that understanding that digitalization is needed is already there. But on the other hand, healthcare and all many of the stakeholders over there are still very conservative, similar to the industry here. They don't want to share the patient data in the cloud. They think that immediately when it is there, a country like US can get it and profit with them and so on and so forth. And we need to do a lot of mindset education with our customers to prove them that this is not exactly like that. And it was a big bottleneck to get the project started with the German government because we had to be audited by all different types of data privacy authorities here to then prove that we have a solid setup where we can have the data. And yeah, this mindset change is something which was very difficult with the first couple of customers. Of course, it's always the most difficult to convince the first ones, but once you have a couple, then it's building up and hopefully it will reduce even more in the future.
Thank you, Dragan. Constantina?
So, I would suggest several things for the region, mainly because in our company we have one of the biggest hubs for development is in Macedonia, and we would like to proceed developing here. Obviously, there are several things that this region can adopt. One is that we would like to see real incentives for IT industry. There are many countries in the world, especially in Europe, that they form tech parks where if you're part of it, you have different incentives for the tax. This also means gross for the employees will be different. So this means that they can, each company can give, let's say, higher pay for the people to stay in Macedonia and to live here and to develop. So if we have a little bit different legislation or incentives or an ecosystem for IT companies to grow, I believe that the people that would like to leave the country, especially after this pandemic enabled us to work remotely, will be less and less. And of course, having this remote work, this means that also legislation has to change. Work from home is not regulated in our laws, and that is something that should be done practically yesterday. Why is that? Because this is, we won't be able to kind of enable our people when the pandemic is stopped, whenever that will be in whatever year, we won't be able to sustainably keep our workforce because work from home is something that will be normal. And, but this has to be supported by the laws in Macedonia. And third thing, apart from, to not repeat myself with education, that for sure has to happen, third thing I would mention that if all the politicians in our country think how their grandchildren will live successfully in this country and how they can do something about that, not with corruption and, you know, putting money aside, but really to make our country a place where their grandchildren can evolve, can be really professionals, can be entrepreneurs with right skills, with right education gained in this country. For sure that will mean a very good step forward in the future for us.
Thank you, Nina. Nino, you mentioned so many obstacles. So can you, if you can wrap up the changes which would enable to not have that many obstacles?
Well, North Macedonia joining EU would be nice, as it would help us, you know, overcome many of those export and import obstacles and all the obstacles around the logistics. But since we don't have a magic wand, you know, and we can't do that, you know, seeing changes in the laws here when it comes to export and import of goods to, you know, because the laws that we are currently having right now, especially when it comes to customs and imports, are more structured in a way, you know, to support the traditional kind of loan systems that we have when it comes to, you know, textile factories that we were having over the past decades here. But not, you know, to support innovative companies such as ours to produce, you know, some innovative product, which is textile, coming from textile industry, to support that industry that is, you know, slowly suffering here in the country. You know, that would be a huge game changer for us, because currently we are facing so many issues. You know, you have to import new raw materials and then you pay huge taxes on top of it, even for samples. Then, you know, you import some raw materials once and you have certain sets of documents and everything is fine. The next time you import, suddenly, you know, the next employee interprets that in a different way, so you have to pay suddenly a huge tax on it, and so, you know, huge fees and so on and so forth. So those kinds of problems you're facing, and then with the export, as I said already. So yeah, changes in that space would highly impact our business and help us grow and help us export more goods on the international market.
So we started with the success stories, then we continued with the obstacles and with the key ingredients and also with the changes we want to see. Now I want to invite Nikita for
panel. Unfortunately, we were running out of time and we felt the time pressure. Otherwise, let me say that there are questions from the audience, but I hope that you would answer these questions while we have reception. Thank you again for being with us. I would also like to thank everyone that was today with us, both here in the room, but also online, not to forget the online audience. I would also like to thank our board of directors. They're not here today with us. Most of them are not here. But I'm really thankful that they are supporting us, and I would say they have this infinite motivation to do good for the country. I'm very happy about that and proud to be part of this organization. Certainly, big thanks goes to the moderators and also to the panelists today, to our sponsors and corporate partners, but also to our team and to volunteers. Thank you all. I actually asked for another slide to be here. I expect that slide to be presented, because it will sum up all my closing remarks. I don't want to talk long. Wow. Probably I need to talk. Okay, so that was about the same as I started today's opening remarks. It is about being united, being inspired, aspiring for a lot and for a progress, certainly showing the best practices, talking about the best practices. And I would end up with the same sentence as I ended up my opening speech, and that is that it doesn't matter whether we move left or right, but whether we move up or down. So let us be fast and let us move up. Thank you again. And we are waiting for the... I think we all now deserve some reception and some wine.